Hello everyone, in the previous tutorial we've learned how to make action classes, reusable action, weight actions, web element actions, etc. In today video we will learn how to how to set up the global browser, also how to make page classes, how to make test classes. So let's get started. First of all, we will make a folder of pages in which we will create page classes, different type of page classes. So let's get started. Create a folder with name pages. In pages we will create one test file. Suppose that it will be login.ts. Okay, so we have created a login.ts class. In this class we will create all the login methods. Now let's suppose you want to make a separate class for locators. Why we should make a separate class for locators is because if there is separate class for locators, we have to create only one object method for one object for the locator class, and not initiate one class into another and then this another class into the third one. So it will get complicated to make objects of classes into different classes. So we just make one locator class, locator.ts. So we will put all the locators in this class, and in the login class we will initiate the locator class and then fetch the locators. So we have made two classes, locator and login.ts. What you can do is you can make one folder and name that folder like locators, and then put that locator file into that folder. And for login you can create one login folder and then uh, paste the login class into that folder also. Now that we have created locator.ts, login.ts, now the test folder is currently empty, so we will create new file here, login test.spec.ts. So we have created one test class, login test.spec.ts. Now uh, I will write methods and locators later here. First of all, we will make some util classes. So in the util classes we will initiate the browser and will share the page created by that browser into the test class, so that we can run multiple tests into one page only. So uh, create one util folder, utils. In the util folder we will make one file, global setup.ts. In this global setup.ts we will set up the browser. So let's start with it. Now to set up the browser we will first import so what we have to import, we have to import the first Chromium, because we will use Chromium. Next is browser, next is browser context, next is full config, and C will be capital, and we will implement it from PlayWright test. C should be capital here. And the next important import will be we will do it later. Now let browser browser let context browser context. Now we will make one function async function. Name of the function will be global setup. And here we will use config full config. All right. Now the next thing will be we will initiate the browser await dot sorry dot not chromium dot launch. Next we will use context equal to await browser dot new context. Now what we will do is we will store that uh, launch of the browser into a JSON file. Await context dot store state and name of the path of the path will be storage. Let's suppose it is store state dot JSON. Now what we will do is what we have done is we have created the Chromium browser, we have launched the browser, we have made context of the browser, and then we have stored the browser into storage.json file. Now what we will do is we will make a global.fixture file, global fixture.ts file. Why we will make that file? Because we will set up the page created from the context, and then we will use that page, shared page, into the test file, login.test file, and the page will remain open for every test case. So let's make global fixture .ts file. In this file we will import test as base. Next will be browser context. Next will be page. Next will be Chromium. And we will be import that from PlayWright test and export let context um, let's not make that now. We will do it if we need it in the future. Now type my picture is equal to shared context browser context. Next is shared page, and it will be page. Sorry. Next, what we have to do is we have to constant test is equal to base dot extend my picture shared context async use equal to sign, then this. Now we have to launch the Chrome again, but from where? From the storage. What have we have stored the Chromium browser from global setup. We will uh, use that storage session to create the page, initialize the page. So browser will await chromium dot launch. Next is context is equal to await new context. Oh, sorry, my bad. Browser dot context, and in the context first it will be storage state storage state from storage JSON file. Comma record video will use that later. What is giving me error? Oh yeah, we have to define the export let context export let page will be needed in future. Browser it is not context, it is new context. So what we have done so far, we have used a shared context. We are using the storage state of browser which we have set up in the global setup file. Now what we have to do is await use context. After that, shared page async bracket start, and in the bracket we will use shared context. Use, something is wrong here. Let me complete it first, then we will see the error. Yeah, the error is removed now. Page, now we will use page is equal to await shared context dot new page. We have created new page, and then await use page. Now we have created shared page. What we have to do is now just export test. We will use this test to make the test classes, test methods in the login test.spec.ts file. Now what we have done so far, we have made this global setup.ts file. We have made global fixture.ts file. Now let's initialize the login.ts and locator.ts. How to initialize that? Write import. What do we have to import? We have to import page and then locator. From where? From from spelling. PlayWright test. Now export default class locator. Let's go locator page. Now we will define locators here. Let's suppose the first locator will be username locator. Yeah, we will create more locators. I'm just showing the example that how to write the locators. After that we will make the constructor public page and in the constructor we will use this dot username is equal to this dot page dot locator, and whatever the locator will be for username. So that's it. uh, we will write more locators, but first let's initialize the login.ts class. So to initialize it, what we have to do is import page from PlayWright test. Now export default same as it is class and login page. All right. Now to initialize the login class, we have to make the constructor. So constructor public page all right. Now what we have to do is we have to use these methods which we have created in the wait actions, web element actions, reusable actions, and also we need to import the locator class. So how we have to do that? We can do that. We can import wait actions is equal to, sorry, not from is equal to from dot dot slash action slash wait actions. Okay. Now just copy this line and paste it here, paste again, use web element actions, replace this with web element actions, and then locators page, remove this thing from page from locator class. All right. Now we have to initialize the classes. We will use wait actions and use it small web element actions wait, copy this locator. All right, now initialize the object class object. Now how to initialize this dot wait actions is equal to new wait actions and then the page. Copy this, paste here. Now we have initialized the wait action class, web element action class, locator page class. Now let's create our first method. So this navigate to URL. All right. Async navigate to URL, and this dot page dot go to URL will be of string type, so I'm passing it as a parameter string URL, and then console dot log navigated to the URL. So you can write like this: URL. If you want to use like it this, you have to remove that column and then use this backslash. This is how you can write. But if you are using double quotes, remove this and use plus URL. So you can do it in either way. So now we have created one method of navigate to URL. Uh, so what we have done so far, we created page class, we have created test class, we have created global test setup, we have created global fixture.ts file. Now I will show you how to suppose that there are environments of a site: stage, production, and dev environment. Currently I don't have any site to show you, but I will use different sites, a site like Facebook, Instagram. Suppose that Facebook is stage size, Instagram is production site. So we can fetch the data of test data of Facebook or Instagram with two types. First one is JSON and second one is environment file. In this tutorial I'm using JSON. If you want environment, fetch the data from the environment file. I will show that. Just write in the comment box if you want to uh, initialize the data or use the data from the environment file. So to get the data from JSON file, we have to create one more folder which will be test data, and in the test data we will create one file. The file name will be let's suppose data.json. So in the data.json we will provide the data both of Facebook and Instagram website, and then we will fetch the data based on the environment. Data.json, rename it. We are using environment, so let's suppose this is stage data, and copy this and then paste it here and rename it to production. Yeah, So that's it. State data and production data. Now let's suppose write it here, and here what you have to do is mhm, let's suppose you have different URLs in stage also. Uh, so so that stage I will give capital stage. What will be the URL? Suppose that mhm, it will be store one. Now provide the URL and then this, and whatever will be the URL here. Next is username. Next is password. So that's it. Suppose that there are two environment, stage and production. So we have created two JSON files, stage data and production data. And in stage data, in stage environment, you have different URLs. Suppose that you have store 1, store 2, store 3, store 5, store 5. So in that case, you can use like this: stage store 1, and the URL will be this, username will be this, password will be this for the store 1. And if you don't have any stores in the stage environment and you have only one common URL for the stage, you just don't have to use the like this. You I will show you how you can just use the common data. So here, uh, close this and just copy paste it here, you, and it will be store 2. The key will be key will be same, URL, username, password. We don't change the key because we will use this key uh, in the login test class as a common. So if you want to use stage store 1, if you want to run the stage environment in stage store 1, you don't have to choose the key here in the test class. Now suppose that you have some common data as well, which will be common in both store 1 and store 2. So you can give it like this: common, sorry, you have to close this. Now common data common. So that's it. We have created one stage data file. Now let's copy it and paste it in production and change this with production, sorry, in capital, production. All right, now that we have created two JSON file, for one for stage and one for production. Now how to read this data? To read this data, we have to go to the global setup file. So in this setup file, we will read this data based on the environment we will give in the command. Suppose that in command line you have given stage store 1. So it will read URL, this username, this file password, and then this common data. It will not read this your URL, username, password. All right. So go to global setup file. Now in the global setup file, what you have to do is you have to in you have to specify the environment. So environment to trigger is equal to process dot environment dot environment to trigger. All right. And you can you can specify the default environment also here. Suppose that you have not specified any environment in the command line. So what this uh, global setup file will do, it will run the test class into uh, using this environment stage store one. And remember guys, it is case sensitive. So you have to use same this stage store one. Where we have gone global setup. Yeah, same like this store stage store one. Okay, now we have defined the environment. Now we have to read the test file based on the environment. So what we will do is constant is stage environment is equal to environment to trigger dot start with stage. So it will, what it will do, it will check that the environment dot environment trigger is starting with stage, and it will store it here is stage environment. All right. Then we will read the data file according to that. Data file path is equal to path dot join dot folder name test data, then slash, and we will provide dollar is stage environment. Then we will give question mark if the uh, if this one is equal to stage, then we will read uh, stage data. Stage data is this file, otherwise it will read production data. and dot json. All right. We have to import the path. Import path from path. So we have now data file path. Which file do we have to read when we trigger the uh, script, whether it will be stage or it will be production. Now we have to load the JSON file. So constant load file equal to JSON dot parse fs. We have to import fs from fs. Use fs here. Dot read file synchronize and the format of the file. What will be the format? UTF-8. Oh, something is wrong. Yeah, we have to provide this data file path also. So to provide this, we have to like this, copy this, paste it here, and then close this. So we have now loaded the file. Now we have to give the condition. If load file environment to trigger if there is no environment to trigger in the load file, actually we don't have to use this because we are providing a default environment here. So let me remove this. Now constant. Now we are reading the data. Environment data is equal to load file and environment to trigger. Now it will go to this load file. First it will load this file, all file data, and then it will uh, search for this environment. Suppose that the environment we have given is stage store 1, so it will go with this stage store 1, and then this will this read this data. All right, now what we have to use is constant global data. We will name it to global data, and then now we have to store the data. So URL is equal to environment data dot we have to provide URL. So this will this URL, this thing will should be same, should match this key. So in the global setup file, URL is matching this, and we don't need to use this. We have to use it like this. Username. So username will be environment data dot username, then password, environment data dot password, then common data environment data dot common, yeah, this common, sorry, common global setup common data. All right, we have defined the global data. Now we have to write this data into a JSON file. So constant dot output path is equal to path dot join, and you have to give the path where you have to write the data. So I'm giving the same path dot test data. I will make one folder also, global data. In this folder, this one folder will be created in test data, this will be global data, and then in global data we will make the global data file, and then file name global data. I have to give it smaller, it should be smaller, yeah, global data, and then environment name dollar this and environment. So the name of the file will be global data underscore environment to trigger global data underscore stage store 1 or stage store 2 or production. It will be like this. So data will be written in this file. So fs dot write file sync output path json dot stringify global data null 2 and write console dot log global data is written to file name output path. So now we have to export default global setup. All right, now what we have done so far, we have created one locator class, one login class, login test.spec class, and one global setup file, one feature file. In the global setup file we have initialized browser first, Then we have stored the stored the state of the browser. Then in the global picture file, we have created one shared page. This shared page will be used further in the login.test.spec.ts file. And then we have created one stage data.json file and production data.json file. In both the JSON file, we have you created one stage store 1, stage store 2 if they are stored in stage environment or production environment. Then we have read the file we have in the global setup file. Based on the environment, we are reading the file, and then we writing the reader data, and then we are creating a global setup file, global data file. So that's it in this tutorial, and in the next tutorial we will use the live examples like facebook.com, instagram.com. We will use real data here. Currently I've left that blank. I will fill that data, and then I will create login test class. Currently it is empty, but we will create that class also, and then we will specify the locators also here, and then we will try to run this login test.spec.ts file. So thank you. If you have any doubt, you can ask me in the comment section.